Hey there, gang. So today's video is going to be yet another showcase of this build that y'all have seen me both run on stream and in my YouTube highlights these last few days. I'm genuinely surprised at how well this build's been doing for us, and I really do mean that. This has been some of the best outcomes I've seen in my matches in multiple years of gameplay, and again, I really mean this. So, like, with consideration to all of the base kit changes, especially how Clown before this had the base kit buffs, I really do mean when I say choosing to run these perks with even a flexible fourth option. You don't necessarily have to run Play With Your Food. However, I do think Play With Your Food is really good, but I'll get to that. But it is the strength and synergy of these perks in the current meta that actually give Clown an opportunity, I feel like, to hold on in some matches where he either falls behind or when he gets ahead but then maybe makes a couple stumble mistakes, because this build gives you consistent momentum. You are able to slow down survivors in a way where they don't have a lot of agency over controlling losing the slowdown. Because Dying Light will not go away until the obsession is dead. You obviously choose when to kill the obsession. Gift of Pain, you choose when to hit the survivor. So unless you purposefully injure a survivor, right, they're going to be stuck with this debuff to their penalty, or excuse me, to their healing and repair speeds. And it's very painful when you stack Gift of Pain and Dying Light together. And I'm talking about, it is so painful, because when you get just 3 stacks of Dying Light and you have Gift of Pain, that is 25% slowdown, and it is the equivalent of 120-second generator repair time solo. This is without any toolboxes, any other modifiers, but 120 seconds, that's 2 minutes, gang. We go from 90 seconds to 2 minutes, and then instant regression basically having more impact, because that 8%, when you compare it and think of it similar to what it would be beforehand, it might as well be 12 to 13, maybe 15% the more and more stacks of Dying Light that you get. So all of this together, it really gives Clown a lot of mid to late game potential. And how it works, in a very short summary, there's a very long video I have coming up soon. But the short summary of how you play this build is you want to find a non-obsession, you want to hook them, you want to quickly find another non-obsession. You don't want to come back and tunnel. If you're going to proxy the hook, you're looking for the unhooker. This is not a tunneling build, and I'd be very explicit about that. Tunneling removes this debuff. If you hit the person who got unhooked, you're going to be removing this debuff. You don't want to do that. You want to be sticking with the confidence that comes from the slowdown from Gift of Pain and Dying Light. You want them to heal, because when it comes time to hit them, you're going to be committing to a chase. They're not going to be getting any extra repair speed because you're going to be downing them at the end of that chase. That is how the build works. So you want to go hook a non-obsession, look for another non-obsession, hook them. In the meanwhile, the first one's going to get unhooked. They're going to be stuck with this debuff in the 1 stack. And then when you hook that second survivor, this is up to 2 stacks. You want to find maybe the third non-obsession. That'll be 3 stacks. Gift of Pain on every single non-obsession permanently until you hit them and commit to a chase. This means that you have at a global level reduced the slowdown. That's what makes it so pivotal. Now, where does Play With Your Food fit into this build? If you haven't seen me talk about it before, Play With Your Food. It is excellent at when you commit to a side of the map and you stumble across the obsession and no one else, and you don't want to waste your time. Perhaps you actually come across the obsession and a non-obsession. Now you can carry the momentum of that 5% speed into the chase with the non-obsession. It's very valuable when you come across the obsession. It punishes the obsession for being anywhere near you, and thus it makes it harder for the obsession at a macro level to come in and try to counterplay the pressure that you put on their teammates, the non-obsession survivors. Plus, in the event that they do over-aggress, you're going to see some very interesting gameplay out of this obsession, I'll give you forewarning, but in the event that they do over-aggress, you get to capitalize off of it by putting Gift of Pain onto them. And now if they get fully healed, they get stuck with a debuff that they have no control over losing, and in tandem with all of the other non-obsessions being stuck with that same debuff and Dying Light, gens just become impossible to do. Oh gosh, what'd I do to deserve this? This is like a random Eyrie too, isn't it? Why are we on Eyrie? I mean, Play With Your Food may be pretty nice in this situation, because if there's any instance where I'm going to want it, it's probably going to main building, which is also one of the reasons I do kind of want to go ahead and get these kicks off. Like, this is one of the most efficient. Oh, this is perfect. See, we're gonna get a very good play with their food if they don't run. Hold on, we're purposeful. I'm just gonna get the tag here. We get the hit, and we're not even trying to commit to this chase. This is just free pressure getting the hit. That's macro pressure, and we get our, Someone's got distortion. Perfect. So there we go. Someone I think is actually on this gen. Awesome. We want to get Gift of Pain first, though. So this is going to not only get us 1 stack of Dying Light, it's going to put Gift of Pain onto her, and we don't actually want... I think I want to actually go up here because there were 2 survivors on this gen. I have a feeling she stayed. Reload right here because I feel like she's going to camp pallet. Oh my gosh, if that pink hit, I would have gotten the hit, by the way. The pink was a little bit of an overshot. She's actually greeting. Perfect. She's very greedy, but I mean, she got more bottles out of me. Remember, we don't actually care about the unhook because we have Gift of Pain. I need this pink, though, to actually do something for me, and I'm trying to be smart with it. Oh no, please tell me she doesn't have a pallet. She doesn't, thank you. Oh! And that takes off that gen, which is amazing. I would like to get some regression on the other gen. But that might be good enough. They did heal. Did they actually heal Unhooked? That no. Okay. We need to get to that other gen, I think. I'm not gonna reload just yet. Hold on. Actually, someone is right here. There are 2 survivors in this area. Bang. It's very important I get that tag. This is a very good chase, by the way, because we've already hooked her and we have Gift of Pain on someone else. So we are otherwise... Damn, she still has... That's so lovely. Does she have a bag? She has just a toolbox. Okay, remember, if she does get on that, then she removes her any type of anti-tunnel. You think she's gonna go to that one over there? No, she's going to her left. Do you see the blood? This secures that we get this, and it's very important, again, that we keep cycling this. It's another stack of Dying Light. Damn, that gen does finish, but we have someone on Death Hook. That's someone who's injured. I want to get a stack of play with their food. I really don't care about hooking the Obsession, to be honest. Because we've got almost everybody but this one Feng. Oh wow, that's a lot of injured survivors over here. Hold on. This is Mikaela. And since she unhooks, we know she doesn't have any tunnel. Knocks off that gen 2. Hook her on this, get another stack of Dying Light. Also apply Gift of Pain back onto her if they heal the other person. That means, by the way, it's about 2 minutes per gen at this point. For if you have Gift of Pain active on you and Dying Light, it's about 2 minutes per gen. I will go ahead and down her at this point. I think she thought that I wasn't really committing to her, but we are. And of course, we will hook her for Gift of Pain too. So this is actually really, really good pressure. I think they're looking to reset or heal. Either way, they can't pressure too well. Oh, perfect. Remember, we do get a stack of play with your food here. Whenever this chase ends, we're gonna get a stack of play with your food, so it's... I'm gonna actually sit here because I purposefully do want to get this stack. I don't think she would be playing this aggressively if they didn't have it. I will go kick that pallet in just a sec too, by the way. Hold on. I need to get another stack here. I'm gonna go for this Feng. Remember, all of that regression, if we down her quickly, especially with 2 stacks, that's another 8%, which is even stronger. We still have a stack of play with your food here. We can still go hook here to apply another Gift of Pain. I'm actually gonna go deep here. I don't think she has power struggle. That along with all of this, because look, they're all still healed. I don't think they want to heal because of that regression, but if I find them, that's just a kill, you know? Speaking of which, we need to find the other Feng. I will go ahead and kick this. My base kit kicks in these situations are stronger because of all the dying light stacks. She doesn't want to heal either, I think, too, by the way. Get a refresh. I just downed this. You know what? I'm gonna just hook her too. I'm just gonna keep pressuring this. I might as well hook this in this case. This is just more gift of pain onto her. If she doesn't heal. They're gonna have to go back here first, which is why I'm not, I know they unhooked behind me, by the way. I'm not concerned about that at the moment. It's another -8%. Yeah, I don't think she likes this build, by the way. I don't think she likes the build. But I don't want to hook her just yet because of dying light, if you're wondering why we don't hook her. Because that is a massive regression penalty. It is -15% to generators if we don't actually hook her and if she gets picked up. And I think that's why, by the way, she might not be sprinting. If she doesn't sprint, then she doesn't initiate chase, which means I don't get stacks of play with your food. I'm gonna actually commit to, we want to commit to this chase, specifically because of Gift of Pain. You might be wondering, why don't we go for the Feng? This person is on Death Hook. She did get the yellow, keep in mind, so we want to wait this out a bit. This is all calculated, baby girl. -8% on 2 generators, actually knocking it down a significant amount. She's on Death Hook too, isn't she? She is, so I can just go ahead and just hook this aggressively. There's no reason to go any more than that. This generator still is not done. All right. I think, again, like I said, she's trying to avoid me getting stacks of play with your food. Perfect bloom. No! Stop! Now, she isn't on Death Hook. We got some amazing Gift of Pain generation this match, I will say. Alright, do we go ahead and hook the Obsession? That is a 3K game. I'll go ahead and hook her now. Now that this does confirm a 3K, I'm fine with getting rid of Dying Light. We weren't slugging a BBM, it's just that killing the Obsession removes one of our hurts. Because at the moment, it is 21% slowdown, and we just keep hitting these gens for -8%. Our Gift of Pain adds to that 21%, an extra 16% slowdown, so you're looking at 37%. It's taking you close to 3 minutes solo per generator. Yes, 3 minutes. So that means that 8% is anywhere from like probably 15%. Like instant regression. Oh, it's painful. That's how they couldn't do this gen in time. No! I almost got on it in time. Damn, BNP too. See, that's the thing. They even had BNPs. And we just kept knocking back the gens. I knew someone had Distortion. Distortion and OTR, look at that. What did she have too, Mikaela? No DS. They kept trying to feed it to me, I felt like, you know? So, Eyrie of Crows is not really my favorite map on Cloud. In fact, I'll be honest, I'd go as far as to say it's one of the worst. You know, it's got a main building with 2 doors that need to be broken. If you don't break those 2 doors at some point before you commit to a chase where they become a problem, then you very likely are looking at a chase extension of 15 to 20 seconds minimum. It's going to enable them to loop all the way around the other half of the building. There's always a strong window or doorway to complement those windows. They chain into side tiles on the left and the right side of the main building. Ultimately, it's like I said, you have to kick those doors, but given that Clown doesn't have mobility, Kicking those doors is opportunistic at best. You're likely going to have to kill them, or excuse me, kick them when it's convenient. And we thankfully, in this match, we came across the doors in that fashion. We literally passed one doorway from where we started. It was right in front of us. We kicked that door. We pathed through the main building in order to get to the other side of the map, kicked the other door in the process, and we saw the obsession, which gave us a very early tag, and we purposefully did not to commit to chasing her for a reason. Well, rather a couple, honestly. One, she had the main building, which is a very disgusting and strong tile. We'd be looking at probably minimum a generator completed, given that we don't have any pressure established from our build yet. We wouldn't be getting any dying light stacks from hooking her. At best, we'd be hoping for Gift of Pain, which early on the obsession is good, but at the moment that we're at in the game, it's not exactly our top priority. Hooking the obsession with this build for applying Gift of Pain is kind of like you could call it a side quest. It's a side objective. If it's convenient and it presents itself, by all means go for it, because then it presents a problematic situation that we'll get to in a minute. But no, instead our focus was on finding these non-obsessions. We wanted to put Gift of Pain on non-obsessions, build up the Dying Light stacks on everyone else who we had not hooked yet, and then once we put Gift of Pain onto them, have it stack onto the whole team. That was our goal. And in the event we stumbled across the obsession as early like we did, well, they were just going to be giving us play with your food stacks to accomplish that, which it very much did. We found Feng early. We got our first non-obsession hook. We got our first stack of Dying Light. And from there, we ended up coming across the Mikaela. We ended up chasing Mikaela, and we had a very quick hook. And from there, we're now at 2 stacks of Dying Light, 2 survivors with Gift of Pain. I then believe we were pathing around. We got a couple of stacks of Play With Your Food. And where things became interesting in this match is that I think Aestri realized that we had Play With Your Food. Because people in my chat were very confused. They were wondering to themselves, why exactly is she playing the way that she is? Why is she not running? Why is she sitting on the generator and letting me down her? She was playing very peculiarly, that if she had played that way as she did the entire match, I would assume she was throwing. But make no mistake, this Aestri, I think, is a lot more intelligent than people thought. Again, look at her build. She is running quite literally one of the most meta builds on the planet, even though she doesn't have any items. You know, she had, I think, to my understanding, a very clear knowledge of what we were doing. She saw that we were initiating chase with her and then leaving. She saw how quickly her teammates were going down. She knows Dying Light is in play because it gives her that information feedback. It shows the icon on the bottom screen. I think it was her decision to go down tactfully, knowing that if she chose to run, she starts a chase. For those that don't know, in order to prevent a chase from starting, you can't run. The killer can be like running all around you. He can be sprinting and moving, but if you're walking in his face, the chase won't start. It's only when you press shift or you move forward all the way. I think it's LB on controller. When you start sprinting or moving forward rapidly at the top speed, that is when a chase begins according to the game's mechanics. And that is how killers can gain play with their food stacks from the obsession. She stopped doing that. Unless she was she had pre-run distance where she knew that her running was out of already and there was enough space between us to where it wouldn't start the chase and thus give me the play with your food stacks. There was a point going forward in the match, she stopped giving them to me. I think she gave 1 or 2 at one point because it was just like she had to displace herself in a means and she started running too late. And I was focused on her other teammate anyways, but in the process, right, I think she also noticed that because she allowed me to start the chase, gave me that play with her food stack, killed her teammates. That's really what brought us back, was that we basically put Aestri in a catch-22 position. And the thing is, I think she realized even more how frustrating things were being in her shoes once we hooked her the first time. Because again, to avoid the Gift of Pain debuff, you can't get healed. But if you don't get healed against this build, well, I just slug you and apply Jolt, right? So she chose not to heal. She gave me Jolt. She gave me slug pressure because when I was slugging her, right, I had someone else on the hook. Everyone else besides all the other non-obsessions, right? The ones that were healed, they're Gift of Pain and Dying Light, so they can't exactly do gens because they're going to be doing it slowly. They can't exactly pick her up or heal her down because they'll be doing it slowly. Gift of Pain and Dying Light apply healing speed penalties. So she literally, it's almost as if whatever decision she chooses to make against this build punishes her. Because again, how could she avoid all of what we were just got done talking about? Running away. But again, you lose doing that because I just killed your teammate. So looking at their builds, we're going to look at their builds, and then I'm going to do something a little bit different. We're actually going to do a little bit of a quick play-by-play of the match. I want to run through the match on fast forward and just kind of talk about what I mean when I say how the build kind of works, and also just the decision-making of the Aestri. So yeah, these were some pretty meta builds. Double window, triple windows, wow. Brand new part Commodious on the Mikaela. And yeah, you look at the Aestri, she has Decisive Strike, Unbreakable, Finesse, and Dramaturgy. Like that combo is something you see a lot of people run. I think she probably would have had Dead Hard if she didn't have one of those anti-tunnel perks. You know, you've only got 4 perk slots, right? But yeah, ultimately, when you consider Clown on Eyrie of Crows, I don't think if we had a different build, I don't think we would have won. I think it would have been a very uphill battle at best. I think they would have actually had to throw. This build provided us the pressure that I think by virtue of playing well, we're the ones putting them in the back foot. It's not like they put themselves there, right? So let's go ahead and let me pull up the video here. All right, so first things first, we're loading in onto Eyrie. We have actually what I would consider a pretty good spawn. Earlier when I was talking about how you want to kick the doors when it's opportunistic, this is opportunistic. We literally spawned in a way where we're going to pass through being able to kick both doors where we're not going out of our way, and we happen to find the Obsession. This gives us play with your food. As long as you don't commit to a chase with the Obsession and down them, you get play with your food once the chase ends. And it gets us a little bit of early macro pressure by injuring her. We take this play with your food, we catch Feng, we get a very early tag, and this is where we start to set up our overall early macro snowball, because we down her, we're going to be hooking her, we're going to put Gift of Pain onto her very early, in addition to getting our first stack of Dying Light. This is going to put this one Feng, when she gets unhooked and when she gets healed, 19% gen slowdown. That is going to be very impactful on just one. Every other survivor that's not the Obsession is also going to have 3%. And I'm not looking, notice how I'm not playing around this hook. I'm looking for other people because I don't care what goes on at that hook. She could get unhooked right now. If I'm starting in a chase and I likely think I'm going to get this early tag, for example, onto this Mikaela, and I'm going to get a very early quick chase from the Mikaela, I don't care what goes on at this hook because I want to just be pressuring her. I want to get her as my next Gift of Pain stack. So we commit to this chase. She admittedly plays this very greedy, but also very well. I think that the way she played around the corner like this was creative. Without Cigar Box, I probably wouldn't have expected it. I would have thought that she would have chained. If you look back over here, I would have thought at this moment she would have gone around the hill. Instead, we were able to find her right at this point. I would have expected her to have already gone. I wouldn't have expected her to stay. That's why I did all this pink setups. But we get our first health state onto her. We see that the Feng got unhooked. She's probably getting healed soon. Again, I don't care. Because look at this. Mikaela doesn't have anywhere to go. We know we've got Gift of Pain onto that Feng. This is Gift of Pain number 2. They still haven't popped any gens yet. We're still getting some regression going on. We're now able to carry this Mikaela. And one of the reasons I went back to this corner instead of the other generator, because as I'm sure y'all noticed from when we downed the Feng, there was a jolt pop in front of us. There were 2 survivors at the corner, so I assumed the generator at the corner had more progress by comparison. So we carry the Mikaela, we hook her on this, we apply our second Gift of Pain, and we have it as well onto the first Feng because she's fully healed. Because there are 2 stacks of Dying Light, this is now 22% slowdown onto Feng and Mikaela when she gets healed. That is almost 2 minutes, just a little bit under. We only need 1 more stack of Dying Light to get that threshold. We find the Feng we already hooked, and this is still good. We know she doesn't have anti-tunnel. We are confident that we're going to get a quick chase out of her. And this would just put her on Death Hook. It still gets us another stack of Dying Light. We still can refresh the Gift of Pain. It's just overall, it works out for us to be doing this, especially with how the Mikaela is putting herself around us, with how we'd already seen where the Obsession was. The only other person who would be coming here to be doing anything would be the other Feng, in which case I would have been fine chasing her had I seen her, since she would be my 3rd Gift of Pain, especially with the Obsession being injured. If we then find the Obsession, that's our 4th, but yada, 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 I digress. back to where we are. We find the Feng, we're chasing her, Mikaela looks to present herself, but I managed to get the down. This lets me reapply Gift of Pain, gain another stack of Dying Light, put us at that 2-minute generator solo threshold. That is very, very important, especially with 3 Gift of Pains. This is where you really would normally be doing very well, gen speed-wise. But again, remember, we do only have 2. We did hook this other Feng previously. I wanted to start my chase with the Obsession because this allows me to spring back to the hook when I know that non-obsessions that are injured are going to be here. I knew it was very, very likely that we didn't see the healthy Feng here. I hadn't seen her at this point. But I'll even go as far as to say this, gang. Had the person who unhooked not been this injured Mikaela that we'd also already hooked, right, with Gift of Pain, had it been the healthy Feng, I would have been happy for this. I would have gone for the healthy Feng, not this person on Death Hook. Even still, even with her being in my face like this. Why? Recap. Mikaela has Gift of Pain, so if she didn't unhook, she'd be doing gens on the other side of Narnia. She's going to have 3 stacks of Dying Light at this point. This is going to put her at 2 min solar gen times. She's not getting that gen done anytime soon, even with a Commodious toolbox. I believe she's the one who brought it. She's not getting it done anytime soon. I would be able to chase that healthy Feng. I could then down her, Gift of Pain onto her. That would have been literally everybody, but at this point, the Aestri. Aestri would be the only person who's not affected by any gen slowdown, but again, she's injured. And she's giving me play with your food. So I'm kind of fine with the Aestri being there, with her being the only person not impacted, because she's feeding me the pressure that I need to kill every other person on this team. So again, going back, we find the Mikaela. This tells me she doesn't have anti-tunnel perks. She's injured, right? We hooked her not too long ago, right? Probably still even within 60 seconds of the game. But she unhooked. No anti-tunnel. Very quick chase, very easy secure, good reset of Gift of Pain. Make sure you're always factoring this into account. So we've now got 2 survivors on Death Hook. We've got 2 survivors with Gift of Pain. We've got 4 stacks of Dying Light. Aestri doesn't attempt to run. And this is where I start to get the key, by the way, the clue in, that she knows we have play with your food. Notice that we kind of surprise her, but she could have tried to sprint away. I think she was afraid that we would have left her be since this generator wasn't fully close to completion and we were going to take the play with your food to go find the other Feng. We probably could have used it to find our other teammate. I think she knew that I wasn't really so much invested in downing her to begin with, and I was playing off of the perks that I had. Remember, we have Dying Light, so she probably assumed we had play with your food with how we were initiating and breaking from these chases. But instead, I choose to down her. And I think this is where she realized where she's just screwed no matter what she does. Because by choosing to do this, I'm able to put Gift of Pain onto her. The only person who doesn't have it at this point is the top Feng. The Feng on Death Hook, number 2, she has Gift of Pain and 4 stacks of Dying Light. The Mikaela's still on the hook. She's going to have Gift of Pain, 4 stacks of Dying Light. And then when this Aestri gets unhooked, she'll have Gift of Pain. She won't have the Dying Light, but that's still 16% slowdown. She's trying to body block here because she wants me to remove Gift of Pain by hitting her. I go around her. This is the one person who doesn't have Gift of Pain yet. I'm committed to this chase. I really want to get this 4th person until I see the unhook happens. I'm taking this play with your food. Notice that play with your food's on a cooldown. I'm seeing how close I can get, if I can catch them beforehand. But then what happens is I don't. So what happens, I return now to this hook. I'm able to get my 2nd stack of play with your food because she initiates that chase since she was running. And I use the stack of play with your food to kill her teammate. Without that 2nd stack, she probably makes it to this pallet. We still have 1 stack of play with your food for us to carry her to this hook. And this is going to be right here where we have everybody with Gift of Pain. Mikaela, both Fangs, and Aestri. 5 stacks of Dying Light. It's so difficult to do gens when the game is like this. And given that both Feng and Mikaela are also in Death Hook, I just got to find them to kill them. We choose to slug this, and I actually decide, I believe, to carry her to hook because we knew she doesn't have anti-tunnel. We knew she's not on Death Hook. If she chooses to give up, I've got 2 other survivors on Death Hook, so it would be really, in a good spot otherwise for winning before they got the gens done. her giving up unironically could have a strategic advantage of removing Dying Light. Genuinely, like that actually could help them with them only being 2 gens left. So I was hoping she didn't give up on Hook, and I was benefiting from both the Jolt and the reapplication of Gift of Pain by hooking her this time around. So we hook her, she gets unhooked early. I'm not concerned about it. Remember, if they do heal her, Gift of Pain, I genuinely don't care what goes on at that hook. I'm only concerned about this Feng because I figured people would be pressuring here. Since she got unhooked, the Aestri, and we have someone else on a hook, that's 3 different survivors. So someone would have to be here if they're unhooking, and it would also be the second Feng on Death Hook, right? If it's not the second Feng on Death Hook, then it's the Mikaela on Death Hook. So that really worked out for me going back to that hook if I catch the interrupt there. I wouldn't be going for the person off the hook and worrying about anti-tunnel perks. I'd be going for their unhooker who would be on Death Hook. I'd be taking them out of the match, and I'd be gaining a stack of Dying Light. Instead, we find Aestri. Notice that Asteri's just walking. Again, this is literally what I'm talking about when I say that Aestri is trying to play around and play with your food. Why not just run, right? She could waste my time a bit before going down to bait the DS. If she's really going for a DS play, if she really wanted me to feel like I needed to get value out of hooking her because she like wasted my time, why would she not be walking here, right? Why would she not be running to waste my time in chase? Because she knows, like I said, if she runs, then I can break chase, get play with your food, kill her teammates. She's playing smarter than y'all think, but it looks stupid because that is the counterplay to something that is so unorthodox as this build. This is a very unorthodox playstyle of what we've got going on here. Because yeah, we're not tunneling, right? But we're slowing down the gens at an absurd rate, and we're making it to where normally the one person who's the power member on the team, the Obsession, we're making it to where they can't do anything. So let me go back a couple seconds and then recap. We then down her, right? Why do we down her and we don't pick her up? There's a really big reason for this. We slug her and we don't pick her up. Oh shit, I didn't go back too far, did I? Yeah, I did. I went back too far. My bad about that, gang. So yeah, we go and we hook this Aestri. We go back to the hook. I didn't realize how back I took us here, gang. And she gets unhooked. I don't care about this. I go to this hook because I know that there could only be one person. When I see no one's there, I return to the hook, right? And I see the Aestri. She's not running because she doesn't want to give me play with your food. I slug her. Why do I not pick her up, y'all? She's on Death Hook, right? She's on Death Hook. I've got someone over there. Everyone else, they're on Death Hook too. I actually don't pick her up and hook her specifically because A, she hasn't touched anything yet. B, I know that she has anti-tunnel perks, right? She could have anti-tunnel perks and it would be removing Dying Light. So not only could I potentially just make matters harder for me because she could DS me and then run away, but I could make matters harder for myself by killing her and removing one of my own perks. Because think about it like this. Don't we get an advantage by slugging her? It's the same thing in a way as almost killing her, right? Because if we slug her, then she's not doing any gens as if she would be if she was dead, but we still have our perk. And in a way, perhaps it's better. Because if a teammate of hers needs to pick her up, that means they're not doing gens, they're picking her up, So there's a lot of advantage in slugging her on Death Hook instead of hooking her. And when we noticed that she had DS in the endgame, that made it especially so. Now, they didn't save her in time before she hit second. And this, we've got everybody on Death Hook at this point. This is an 8-hook game. We are the kindest killer in DBD. And I hit Mikaela. I was initially thinking about chasing Feng, right? Because she's injured and she's in front of us. But then I remembered anti-tunnel perks. She's going to have Gift of Pain if I leave her alone. She can get healed. That's good. We've got 5 stacks of Dying Light. So it's like, okay, just don't care, right? Go for Mikaela instead. Break the pallet, get our yellow. This Mikaela was really good. Honestly, this Mikaela was pretty creative and good. I really will give her props. And yeah, this is our first kill. She had Gift of Pain the entire time that she was not engaged with me. Once she got Gift of Pain, this Mikaela from her first hook, it was not gone besides when I injured her mid-chase and then she got it back at the end of it, right? That's really what makes the build so scary. You don't want to just spread injuries. You want to just chase your non-obsessions for 2 health states, knowing that the ones you don't chase for 2 health states, they're not getting anything done with their time. And this is our second kill, by the way, when we get this non-obsession, and the game is pretty much done here. But let's go back, since I didn't talk about it. What's going on here with the Aestri, right? We hooked the Mikaela. We're going back now toward this Aestri. And same thing, Aesteri's walking. Do you see Feng's right there? If Asteri's running, I get play with your food, guarantee I kill her pre-drop. We were able to play pre-drop without play with your food, but she knows her teammate's right next to her. She knows that if she runs away too, I'm going to be starting that chase, and I'm going to take that, and I'm going to kill her teammate. She'd rather let me slug her at this point. Slugging her, she already lost Gift of Pain, but it would remove that. Yeah, we're going to lose 8% on the gen, but she's got no other choice. No other choice, because killing her removes Dying Light, so she knows she's less of a target than her teammates. So her teammates also being on Death Hook, she doesn't want to make it easier for me to do my job of killing them. Also making it harder for them to do the objectives by getting more Dying Light stacks before she's dead. We slug her. We just keep committing to this chase. We don't have play with your food because she was walking. We're able to play this anyways, just from understanding of the tile. I miss because I've got Boomer Thumbs. And this is our second kill. Because the third person, the only person who's still in the game, also on Death Hook, who heals slower because they still have Gift of Pain, they're the ones who would having to be picking up right now. And if they don't pick up, well, the Obsession being on Death Hook, it's definitely we're past the DS window threshold. Because they're on Death Hook, that's our third kill. That's how we won the game. It was a slow roasted game. You know, we really put this one in the slow cooker, right? But it was very hard for them to close out the last few generators, and the Obsession especially. They couldn't really do any much to prevent me from killing their team. They're like it, and since we kept running into them, right? They just had to force themselves to go down because if they didn't do that, well, you know. If they don't just let themselves go down, it just ensures that I win my chases with the non-obsessions. It ensures it. Because I have tier 1 bloodlust with bottles. Play with your food doesn't go away. It doesn't have a timer on it, you know? She had to go down to prevent that. And so that's what I just really, really liked about this build, what I really found valuable from this match. And I think with that, it just about wraps everything up. Hopefully this does kind of explain for those that may find themselves confused about how this build works in practice and how to run it. Hopefully this makes it a bit easier. I'm going to really go over in a more academic way. We'll be going over more specifics, and I have some much better matches for you guys too, some much harder matches that were very, very close. But this one, I wanted to put specific emphasis on the play with your food from the Aestri. People were giving her criticism in my chat. I think it was undeserved. I think she played very well. I think she actually knew what she was doing better than people. So, other than that, I hope y'all found this match to be very, very insightful, very educational. I look to have 4 to 5 videos every week. I stream also on that similar note 4 to 5 days as well per week, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. If you're interested in learning how to play Clown better, I'll have a link to my guide in the description. I have a very detailed Clown guide. And lastly, as I talked about streaming, I'll have to my stream in the description as well. Y'all, I'm really fumbling this ending. I'm just so exhausted, I guess. But yeah, I hope y'all really enjoyed this video, and I'll see y'all next time. Later, gang.